Self Messiah Murphy is that you're actually like running the dark side now. So you need to be like giving the opposite of being a Messiah, because you're running the dark side. You know, you're putting it on the business toes, and who's next? You know, and I love it. You know, at the end of the day, like Kung Fu Panda, Kung Fu Kevin, what you call him, he is what he is. But you know, we tuned onto this dark corner to see scraps, to see fights. I mean, this dark corner was pretty much made by Danny Christie and Becca Heggie, let's face it. In my opinion anyway, people want beg to differ. And it was based on the fact that their fight in their barn, you turn it down a bit in the back, barn. Can you turn it down the back, please?
I did.
Okay. Was based on, alright, Mickey Mouse. Yeah, alright, man. And was based on a fight which hit the newspapers, one of the bloodiest fights on, you know, which pretty much made the dark corner in my opinion. And since then, you know, you had 3D fight clubs which went up and went back down, and then nothing. And now we got Messiah Murphy, who's injecting a bit of physical stuff back into this dark corner, which is what I like to see. You know, the biggest I've seen in the last few years is Danny G give JDP a little tap on the cheek. Pathetic. But now I see Messiah Murphy going around 2-hour drives to, you know, put it on people. And I reckon he is what we need. You know, we don't need things like Hedgehog Man and all that. We need to get rid of the Dr. Harold Shipman, who's ironing out people on the snide, you know, waving brown powder underneath people's noses. Sheriff who keeps calling people out, who needs to, who's one day someone is going to come and they're going to knock him spark out. That's just the way it is. That's just my prediction. You can't get away with it for this long, Sheriff. You know, you've been riding the gravy train for a bit too long with the monetisation and all that. And Murphy, I don't think he's even monetised. You know one thing about Murphy's got that you ain't got? He's got a fucking job. And Sheriff and Ratpool, who pretends to have a job. I think he's probably a Ghostbuster now. All that is making people into ghosts. You know, we got him and Hedgehog Man conspiring together, basically ironing out crackheads and smackheads. Even his best mate got close to him, ironed him out, Titch. You know, he was an SO, so in the day, like one less SO to worry about. But rather than take credit for ironing out an SO, he's acting like all like, oh, I miss my mate Titch. Yeah, you know that. Why? Because you're the last person to see him alive. And you got narrative as well. You know, you got him back off the wagon. Pushed him back off the wagon straight into that brown powder shipment. You know, you and Hedgehog Man are up to some serious, disgusting stuff behind the scenes. And it takes the people like the Cape Crusader, like Chris Murphy, to come down with his cape, and Robin come round and put it back on you people's toes, because you're taking the piss. You know, you're fucking eyeing people out, for Christ's sake. I mean, you know, people who have got through addictions. I know you can get people off the gear by whacking them, but that's going a bit too far. You know, even VC's ironed out his own cat. You know, he strangled his own cat. Fucking poor little, I don't know, Mittens, whatever he calls his cat. Too many keyboard warriors, too many, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going on like you're this, you're going on like you're that. You're going on like you're a bad man. Dear. And then we got, you know, this is what I want to see. You follow in the footsteps of Chris Messiah Murphy, and you will have a channel, my son. And from that, I shall do the fake cross on my chest, and see you later. Amen. Right, finish.